And my dream was to be the best. It's not just the intelligence, it's the sharp mind, it's the good chin, it's the tremendous heart. When it comes down to boxing, I'm the best at this. It's truly a blessing. Boxing is something that I love to do. And I missed, I can honestly say I miss the fans, I miss the atmosphere. There's a lot of things that I miss, in the sport of boxing. So, I'm back to the sport and I'm back to just be the best that I can be.
Back to work.
When I retired, my body needed a chance to heal. Just needed a chance to heal. And I think I needed to find myself just personally, to just step back and just find out who you are as a person. And boxing still was in me.
I kind of knew he was going to come back anyway. He came back because he missed the sport. I know how fighters is. They love that lamplight. Any other athlete that's good or great, they all come back.
The welterweight landscape that Mayweather was coming back to was one that was very competitive, with no definitive king amongst the division.
That was a knockdown.
But after Manny Pacquiao's demolition of Ricky Hatton, many boxing pundits felt that he was the guy to end Mayweather's undefeated record.
Mayweather will get punished, and I think he will go down. I think he has got no shot against this guy.
That might be a little strong to say no shot, considering that Mayweather's never lost. I'll give you right now that Pac-Man just is in his prime, and we don't know what Mayweather we're gonna get. We can assume he's just gonna come back and be the guy he was when he fights Marquez, but we don't know that for sure. And Pacquiao's a special guy. Mayweather can't beat at this point. I just don't see.
However, it was Juan Manuel Marquez, Pacquiao's nemesis, who called Mayweather out, and Mayweather accepted.
Huge uppercut. Down goes Diaz. Knocked out by a great old fighter. Absolutely.
In Marquez's fights with Pacquiao, Pacquiao's knockdowns helped salvage a draw in the first fight and a Pacquiao split decision win in the second. But many fans felt that Marquez had outboxed Pacquiao for the majority of the overall rounds in those fights. And despite Marquez being a free-weight champ and the number 2 ranked pound-for-pound fighter in the world, this still didn't satisfy all of the critics.
Mosley is the champ in your weight class. All right, how about Manny Pacquiao?
If he wanted, he can get it. Have Pacquiao been knocked out twice?
Yeah, when he was like 112 pounds.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Who's beating me?
Nobody's beaten you yet,
That's all
Floyd.
I want to know. If Pacquiao's in front of me and it's time to fight Pacquiao, then I'll take care of that also.
At this point, Mayweather had fought so hard to be at the top of the mountain.
The thing about Floyd Mayweather is I'm an entertainer. Period. Money Mayweather is a character. And when you're a real entertainer, when you're a mega superstar, you can go to other things and blow up and make things happen.
And his cocky persona that earned him stardom was the same persona that was now making the boxing world want to see his downfall. But in the 24/7 series before the fight, Mayweather showed that he also did have a humble side.
We do what we're supposed to do for our American citizens. Anytime. God bless you. I'm blessed to be in this position that I can give back, and I love to give back. You gotta have your own mind. Be the best at whatever you're striving for. Be the best. but y'all gotta believe. I can't believe for y'all.
And now Floyd was ready to come back and show the boxing world that he was the best.
Boxing is what I do. I lace up my boots, I put on my fly shorts, and I fight. Just like that, you dig?
The fight was scheduled to take place at 144 pounds, but Floyd came in 2 pounds overweight and was fined $600,000. After 21 months off, it was time to step back in the ring.
I know this guy's gonna bring his A game, he's gonna fight hard, but I'm gonna be smart, be intelligent, and just be the best Floyd Mayweather.
The 3 weight divisions, but is this a step too far? The most high-profile sporting comeback of 2009.
Marquez started off hard, but it was Mayweather who made the most meaningful start.
This is straight right hands. Mayweather's his also, and there's a knockdown on Olympus.
Floyd landing his left hook, and you can see his left hook is way more powerful than Marquez goes.
An advantage because it seems to have nullified
Mayweather's speed and skill. He moves from a punch, counters and lands a punch, and gets away from him.
And as the rounds went by, Mayweather's sharpness began to totally take over.
Open to get countered with a left.
outthinking Marquez by such a margin.
There's the straight.
Being a mismatch of skill, and against Juan Manuel Marquez, that's saying something.
Marquez cannot seem to hold off anything that Mayweather's doing pretty much.
What a return to the sport. 21 months off, and he's better than ever.
After securing a clear decision win, everyone wanted to know who was next.
Sugar Shane Mosley, what are the possibility that we see that fight in the near future?
Shane Mosley is one hell of a fighter. I'm not scared of Shane Mosley. I'm not scared of no.
I mean, the fans want to see a great fight. Me and Money Mayweather.
It's like, hey, wait. I'll come up there and interrupt you when you're doing your interview. Don't disrespect me. Respect me.
Manny Pacquiao. I thought that would get your attention.
The thing is this. I'm going to do the talk because you do too much talking. The thing is this. Okay, then. Put it back down this year.
I really know.
Floyd, your performance, its effectiveness, exceeded even the most optimistic expectations of your greatest admirers at ringside.
Well, I felt good last Saturday, and the main thing that I wanted to do was just go out and display my skills and just be the best that I can be in the sport of boxing. And you know, after the 2-year layoff, I came back, but I think I could still improve, and I feel that I still can get better.
Other future possible opponents would include Manny Pacquiao if he beats Miguel Cotto, Cotto if he beats Pacquiao, Mosley himself. Where do you lean?
Well, it's really, like I said before, it's not about the money. It's for the love of the sport. You know, I love the sport of boxing, but of course, it got to make business sense.
After a brilliant performance, some of the critics felt that the fact that Marquez jumped up in weight invalidated the value of his performance.
What does that mean?
Nobody beat Floyd yet.
So what? That doesn't mean nothing. If you ain't fighting nobody, nobody's gonna beat you.
So what are you doing? I'm not ducking it down to nobody.
Yes, you are.
You don't hear Miguel Cotto calling me out. You don't hear Pacquiao calling me out.
Oh, they'd all love the fight. Sugar Shane calling you out. Man, yo, Marquez was a fat old man, 36 with 17 extra pounds.
So heading into 2012, negotiations got underway for a match with Manny Pacquiao, who had just beaten Miguel Cotto. But then, negotiations hit a crucial roadblock over drug testing, and the fight was called off.
As a promoter, you start realizing, wait a minute here, this fight's gonna take a while.
In 2010, Mayweather signed to fight Shane Mosley. 10 years prior, in 1999, Mosley initially turned down a fight with Floyd, and again in 2006 when Mosley had a toothache. But by now, Floyd felt uneasy over the fact that despite being boxing's most wanted, he still wasn't given his credit.
All roads leads to Floyd Mayweather. That's why every fighter is, they chasing me. Yeah, I mean, if I fight Mosley, he want a rematch, I give him a rematch. After this, then if Pacquiao wanted, he can get it too. Like I said before, I mean, it's so many different fights. Once I beat him, it's always an excuse.
But perhaps beating Mosley would get him credit, as Mosley was a future Hall of Famer and was coming off of a crushing victory over Antonio Margarito and was ranked as one of the best welterweights in the world. And many critics felt that this was a solid test to Mayweather's invincibility.
You know, I beat Margarito. I want to show the world that I'm the best.
Hey, how many ways are there to beat Shane Mosley?
5 ways.
How about Floyd Mayweather?
0.
Thank you.
He's
Thank you. No
unbeaten.
doubt about it.
There are 5 ways to beat Shane Mosley. There are no ways to beat Floyd Mayweather. You tell me who's gonna win.
The press conference matched the excited vibe of the fans, and the fight was preceded by a 24/7 series where both fighters went back and forth with each other.
And he runs his mouth and he says, I'm the best of the best in best history. At some point, you have to back that up.
I'm doing Shane Mosley a favor. I'm letting him share the ring with greatness. Kid is so desperate. I made more money in my last 2 fights than you made in your whole career. It's more like this. Some people are talented and some people are gifted.
My nephew truly believes he is the greatest thing in the sport of boxing, period.
Someone could say, oh, he said that he's better than Muhammad Ali. Yep, I'm better than Muhammad Ali. Shane Mosley, I don't take that away from you, Shane. You're talented. I'm God gifted.
And when he whoop him, I guess everybody else gonna say it too.
Yep, I'm better than Sugar Ray Robinson. I would never say it's another fighter better than me.
Not surprisingly, Mosley's coach also knew the stature of the task they were facing.
Shane's gonna come out and hit Floyd in the mouth, and Floyd is gonna sprout a tail and turn into a dragon in the ring.
And notably, this fight would include drug testing for both fighters, which was even more relevant due to the fact that Mosley had been caught using drugs before.
You don't know what these fighters are taking.
Shane got in trouble for steroids. I didn't, because I ain't never done nothing.
There's no more steroids, and that's what my career was built on. Yeah, that's not the case. But they want to try to put that stress on me in 2010.
How many fights Shane has won in the past? Because we know in the past that, you know, Shane was using enhancement drugs. That's something that we do know. All work and dedication. No HGH, no steroids.
But this also allowed Mayweather to make a clear statement to all future opponents that drug testing was his expectation now before a fight.
We clean the sport up. Blood collected, urine collected, and the check collected. Just make a stand for something that I truly believe is right.
And at the pre-fight face-off that HBO newly introduced, both fighters continued their trash talk face to face.
Come May 1st, he gonna have to make me respect his skills. He gonna have to make me respect it because...
Well, the air has been cleared already because I wanted to be put up there so people know that I'm the best welterweight out there.
I'm saying, I mean, that's what you're here to try to do. I mean, that's what that's what you're here to, no disrespect, but that's what you're here to try to do.
You'll find that out.
Okay.
It's gonna symbolize Mayweather's first loss.
Okay.
May 1st.
I got a lot of tricks up my sleeve, so, you know, you'll see May 1st.
But what he does in the ring, from a boxing purist standpoint, is more than pretty.
Know the rules in the dressing room. Okay. I expect a clean, tough fight.
What are we going to get tonight?
Round 1 begins.
After a competitive first round, Mosley sent shockwaves through the arena in round 2.
It looks wound up and tight. There's a hard right hand. And that may be the hardest punch that Floyd Mayweather has taken in recent timing. He threw it at just the right moment. There's another right hand.
His head behind his shoulder.
Mosley, another big right hand. Mayweather's...
People exchange with that boxing. You beat him easy when you box.
Just as Mosley's coach predicted, Mosley did land that big punch, but could Mayweather recover?
He stepped it up in round 3 to respond to Mosley's assault with a couple of right hands.
He's been throwing it that much, basically. And Shane is looking old to me.
After taking that big punch, Mayweather told Shane he'd have to kill him to stop him, and instantly he took over the fight.
Another stunning right hand by Mayweather.
I think he's lost respect for Shane's punching power.
That's a power shot.
Now those are good shots.
Two fighters are talking to each other. And while Shane's talking, Mayweather hits him with a left along with Mosley. They are chatting with each other in the middle of the ring. You can bet it's not friendly.
While you see Shane complaining, he gets hit with a right hand. Roll his shoulder, come back with...
And surprisingly, it was Mayweather who began to walk Shane down, looking for the finish.
Floyd Mayweather's skill level is at this moment unique.
You're a hell of a fighter. He took the blood and the urine test. All I want to do is be on even playing field. So let's continue to go out there and fight the best that they got out there. It's Pacquiao, then I fight Pacquiao. Only thing I'm saying is, if every athlete in the sport of boxing is clean, take the test. We can make the fight happen for all the fans.
That was supposed to be the most dangerous fight of his career, and Mayweather showed us why he's the best. Who can argue this, but of all time, Mayweather has the skills to beat anybody. He has the talent, he has the work ethic, and people all over the world are becoming fans of the talent he possesses, so we really have to commend him for that. Mayweather is on a different level.
Tell me one athlete right now that's been dominating the game for 16 years straight without a loss. That ends it all, then I'm gone.
Floyd took a long 16-month break after his win over Shane Mosley, but after attending the fight of the year between Andre Berto and Victor Ortiz, Mayweather was excited to fight the winner, Victor Ortiz, who was now the WBC welterweight champion.
Ortiz is gonna... Oh my God! Unbelievable!
And new WBC 10.
You're back, Floyd. It's good to see you back. Why now?
You know, we got a young, strong champion in Victor Ortiz, who looked at marvelous in his last fight, and he proved to the world that he can bounce back. He bounced back from a loss, and proved to the world that he's one of the top fighters in boxing today.
Despite the threat of the young champion, the Mayweather camp was unfazed.
Victor Ortiz, he don't mean to me. I wouldn't know him. I wouldn't know him from another bag of white rice.
However, the Mayweathers was fazed by their own family problems, with frictions between father and son erupting once again.
See, I'm the one that taught them. It would never happen for neither brother, any of us. His name is Floyd Joy Mayweather Jr. I'm senior.
My dad started me off, you know, and left my life at the age of 16. Roger came into my life. You know, he worked with me when I was from 17 years old, you know, to 34. So Roger have worked with me longer. But, you know, it all started with my father.
And in one of the most memorable 24/7 moments ever, frictions in the family hit a boiling point.
Undefeated, we gonna stay undefeated. You're not even close to him, not even close.
Oh, Lord.
You're not even close, not even close.
Ain't nothing wrong with it. Roger ain't made you.
Roger made
Well, you was right here when I was training you.
We don't want nobody in the way interfering while we work. Anybody asked you to come here?
Anybody gonna come here? What you talking about?
Didn't do nothing. And you gonna do nothing to me.
And you ain't finna do nothing
to me. Got my gym.
You know, hey, come put me out your mother gym.
You couldn't fight worse shit. You couldn't fight worse shit.
Come whoop me, mother. Come on.
You want to get as a fighter, so how you gonna be something as a trainer?
Go ahead, pour it. Listen, you already said what you said. Now.
My gym, there's only two Mayweathers that count. Roger Mayweather and Floyd Mayweather. And I'm not no junior.
But family feuds would have to be put aside for the physical feud coming up.
You got everything to lose.
I got everything to lose in every fight. I'm never gonna get props that I truly deserve anyway. I'm fighting guys that's winning. When I fought Shane Mosley, after Margarita, they say this the best Shane has looked. I fight him, they say, you know what, he's over the hill. But we both in our 30s. I always find a way to get the job done. It looks different when you're on the outside.
I realize it's in a different world. Maybe you're in a different dimension, but I don't really care.
I was born for this. I was born to be on this level. I was born to handle this.
I just don't really care, with all due respect, bro. Well, I'm gonna brutalize you for 12 rounds.
Why? First you're gonna knock me out, so finish telling me.
Okay, I'll knock you out for sure.
What else? Tell me some more.
I'll just show you.
All I gotta say is one thing. You make any mistakes, you have to pay.
What was that?
That's what I'm gonna say about you, too. It's gonna be a war.
On fight night, Victor Ortiz weighed in a massive 14 pounds heavier than Mayweather.
He has knocked 12 of his last 13 opponents down. But Mayweather doesn't need title belts to establish his identity.
But I think he's going to try to out-power punch.
The undefeated welterweight champion of the world.
Can Ortiz do it? Will Mayweather be as exciting in the ring
short right hand lead that he does very effective when he shoots it almost at the same speed.
Rhythm of Ortiz's offensive attack. Wrinkle, it's not a punch he normally throws.
It's based on just what you just saw. Right hand lead.
Mayweather's right hand was extremely effective against the southpaw champion.
There's the right hand again.
Fight, and he showed that he was patient there.
Another left hand lead. And again, abandoned his family when he was 7.
Has it really been?
Right now, Floyd is systematically breaking him down.
No, they're scared of you. He ain't trying to fight, he running. Keep walking to him. That's all you gotta do. Keep walking to him.
I believe that was Floyd Mayweather's best round, mainly as a result of this right hand.
As the fight progressed, Mayweather was picking up the aggression with combinations.
Division is a title holder.
Corner, but could only grant one. Throw one punch.
And to get to Mayweather, Ortiz had to run into the fire with his youthful ambition.
Misses with the right, and Victor Ortiz lands the right hook.
But Ortiz's inexperience showed as he got frustrated and resorted to using his head since he couldn't land with his fists.
His right eye's beginning to sweat, and he seems to feel the urgency. Pushing Mayweather back against the rope. It's calling timeout. I said he jumped on him to beat.
And Mayweather was all too willing to return the same energy.
Ortiz was apologizing. And Mayweather was punching.
It was legal. You like to claim that you're the best fighter in history? You shouldn't have to do that.
Even though it was a legal shot, incoming criticism was inevitable.
What'd you do there? You were winning the fight and in charge.
I got hit with a dirty shot. He done something dirty. We're not here to cry and complain about what he did dirty or what I did dirty. You don't never give me a fair shake. So I'm gonna go and let you talk to Victor Ortiz, all right? Talk to Victor Ortiz. You never give me a fair shake. HBO needs to fire you. You don't know about boxing. You not.
I wish I was 50 years younger and I'd kick your ass.
Victor later admitted to intentionally headbutting Floyd, but felt that he had a justified reason to do so.
I was trying to break his nose, 100%, because he nailed me 16 times with his elbow. And I kept telling Cortez, elbow. It was 4th round, silently used to headbutt. You want to get dirty? I got dirty. For that, I started feeling bad. And that's why I was like, yo, Floyd, my bad, bro. I apologize, man. So I gave him a hug. They got me to feel human. And when I felt human, I paid for it.
I mean, I've been kicking ass for the longest, but they still not giving me my props that I really deserve. But whoever you put in front of me, they can't beat me. They can't beat me.
Yet again, the fight with Pacquiao fell through, this time due to purse split disagreements, and instead, Mayweather signed to fight Miguel Cotto for the light middleweight title in the summer of 2012. However, Mayweather's personal life was suffering from multiple legal cases.
My mentality is like it's always gonna be. Period. Lies. If I'm innocent, leave me alone. If I'm guilty, do what you gotta do. That's what's been going on the last 15 months.
And the outcome of one of those cases threatened his date with Cotto. Floyd pleaded guilty to domestic violence after a heated argument with the mother of his children. And despite there being no evidence against him, Floyd was sentenced to 90 days in jail.
I'm not worried about it. It is what it is. I take the good with the good, I take the bad with the bad.
How can a lie get so far?
It doesn't matter whether you're guilty or not. They can do anything they want to do, period.
How can someone who didn't do anything have to suffer a consequence of this magnitude, of this situation?
Fortunately, the judge allowed Mayweather to fight Miguel Cotto first before going in. But the question was, what effect would this personal issue have on Mayweather? Miguel Cotto was a serious challenge. He was a 4-time 3-weight champion who had beaten Shane Mosley, Zab Judah, and was coming off of his revenge win over Margarito. Miguel Cotto had the weight advantage that Marquez didn't have, had the age advantage that Mosley didn't have, but had the experience that Victor Ortiz lacked. And though Mayweather was the favorite on paper, this was the toughest challenge that Mayweather had faced in years.
He's not going to be able to outfight me in a war. Miguel Cotto is a very, very quiet guy, but he's in there f***ing me up. Like, he may face Margarito, so he's able to spin him and pivot him. But with me, when he pivot, I'm able to pivot and move and quick and agile. I'm in there to f you up. I don't care less because I know he in there to do damage to me. I'm a winner. Come May 5th, I will win. I will die a winner. You better believe that. Cotto gonna come ready. Cotto is gonna come ready.
I'm here today because of everything I passed through. This is my moment to shine.
All day. You know, fight night, I'm ready to go out there and fight.
Champ, it's gonna be what it's gonna be. Cotto know what it is.
Just look at the bright side. You gotta pay a lot of money for this ass whooping.
54 pounds for the defending world champion.
Both fighters were looking in great shape, and both were fired up to fight.
Along with Manny Pacquiao, these are two of the three most experienced big fight fighters in the sport.
Now, coming to the ring, 7-time world champion Floyd Mayweather.
Over here. One guy.
The first couple rounds saw both men fighting with intent, with Cotto aiming to push Floyd back, and Floyd on the other hand wasn't too hard to find.
Miguel is fighting with confidence. Cotto fighting behind the tight defensive guard. Hasn't taken all that much.
Floyd handled the attacks well, and when he was pushed to the ropes, he used the famous shoulder roll defense.
Mayweather in the corner and try to land in the first two rounds.
Right side where he gets hit as a hooks. And also, look at one of the best I've ever saw since Muhammad Ali. Still doing a lot of punches, creating a lot of excitement. Floyd is a...
Cotto was making it an intense fight. It was very competitive, but Floyd's accuracy was giving him the edge.
His punch is coming.
Mayweather lands the right hand around Cotto's foot.
He's bouncing in, he's towards a little short. Floyd could see it in time.
But basically, Jim, so
he would like the other catching him.
After round 4, the intensity of the bout continued and the combinations began to flow.
I'm sure he's fighting, leaning back.
But Cotto now began to force Mayweather into the ropes, where he would have his best chances.
At the end of a minute of rest, do you see his stamina fading here? Again, Cotto's making a mark here and there.
And Cotto decided to step up his game, employing unorthodox attacks to catch Mayweather off guard.
That has seemed to have worked for Cotto, but he keeps working.
Heavier boned guy than Floyd. He's basically
a little bit of a size difference between them. And why would he go to the ropes if he has this advantage here? Jab almost every opponent.
Any damage here.
Now it was Mayweather who was walking Cotto down.
Cotto is backing up and becoming more of a counterpuncher. Leclati this way. Leclati was no Floyd Mayweather.
Running.
More blood from the nose.
So far, this was no easy task for Mayweather.
Combinations that we spoke of, all right? We bust up so easy.
That right hand was blocked. That Mayweather's allowing some body shots here.
Rare.
Boom! Cotto's putting a lot of emphasis. Left hook. Semi-uppercut by Mayweather. Big uppercut by Mayweather with the left hand. Now he's found another weapon. But Cotto makes his mark too. And now, in the last minute, those 4 left-hand uppercuts along the ropes. Big shots by Cotto. Mayweather landed.
In a great round for Cotto, his activity and accuracy made its mark.
Mayweather hasn't lost a round this clearly and solidly for some time.
But Cotto is the one with clear win in this round for Miguel Cotto.
Fans cheering the blood on Mayweather.
In round 9, with both fighters starting to feel the intensity, Cotto began to take his foot off the attacking gas, but his defense remained good.
Mayweather missed the dose.
Going into the final 3, both fighters were having great moments, but Mayweather's conditioning and accuracy seemed to give him the edge.
Any lack of will.
The fight with Manny Pacquiao, he still suffered a lot of punishment.
You could say he's making Floyd earn his $40 or $45 million. Maybe some of this is...
I think most of us believe Floyd's more of a pure boxer and a brilliant one. Cotto slowing down here in the 11th round. A sign that his extraordinary stamina is serviceable.
Mayweather in a hard fight and bleeding.
In the last moments of the fight, Cotto continued marching forward, but Mayweather was ready, and then with a tremendous uppercut, it appeared as if Mayweather may get a knockout.
By Cotto. Cotto is staggered by that uppercut. That's the most badly hurt he's been in the fight. That uppercut, there's another. Going for the knockout.
So I think he could have finished off.
The bell sound. Given what Cotto brought to the ring and the effort that he put forth, give Mayweather credit.
After an amazing fight, Mayweather was named the victor.
And still undefeated.
Battle royal like this for a long time. What was it like?
Miguel Cotto was a tough competitor. So, I had to go out there and execute the game plan and fight my heart out. I bit down and fought hard like a true champion, but he's a tough competitor. What else can I say?
I was more impressed with him tonight than hardly any fight since the Diego Corrales. Just to fight his way through victory. But it was a good fight, a good test, and I thought he came through very well. I was very impressed.
The fight was so tough that it even had Mayweather considering retirement.
Uppercuts, hooks. I don't know if this is my last fight tonight. That mother may make me go on retirement. That bitch was tough.
After the fight with Cotto, Mayweather was set to serve 90 days in prison.
What's your mindset like right now?
Only thing I can do is try to take a negative and turn it into a positive. It's not like I'm doing life without parole. Then I have something to be upset about.
And the question for those closest to him was, how would he deal with it?
We don't think he's ready. To Floyd, that can seem like a lifetime.
But one thing we know as far as fighting, Floyd Mayweather don't have any problems adjusting to anything.
We're talking about no marks, no bruises, no nothing. Show me some pictures first.
In what would be an impactful moment in his life, Floyd entered jail on June 1st, and 2 weeks later, he was named the highest paid athlete in the world.
Floyd Mayweather Jr. is set to be released from jail.
Fortunately, after serving 60 days, Floyd was free on August the 3rd.
Floyd, anything you want to tell us now?
I can't even believe I'm out.
They couldn't stop me, boy.
Y'all trying to stop?
Never.
Y'all trying to stop P? Y'all trying to stop P? Am I a different person? Absolutely. You're supposed to be rehabilitating, and all you're doing is getting madder. I'm up from the situation. Man, y'all was wrong. Yeah, flat out. That ain't right.
And after his release, Mayweather's character wasn't the only thing that would change, as after a tumultuous 14-year relationship with HBO, Mayweather was unsatisfied with the television network.
HBO, they reckless, they foul. At the end of the day, they foul.
Mayweather didn't feel appreciated by the company.
My contract with HBO for 16 years. I think I only had a 3-year contract with HBO. I've been with y'all, I've been loyal to y'all for 16 years, and this is what I get.
And knowing the economic value he brought to the table, Mayweather felt that he deserved better from the company he was with since the beginning.
Then Larry Merchant get in there, he don't ask nobody else questions like that. They try to ask me questions like...
It can easily be $1 billion that I bring to the city in 3 days.
Mayweather jumped ship to Showtime Sports and CBS networks and received a groundbreaking contract which would give Mayweather the power to write his own checks.
You gotta realize that what he's doing, I've never seen a fighter holding all the cards. It's unprecedented.
In 2013, Floyd was preparing to fight once again, and in the new pre-fight television series, Showtime's All Access, Floyd had a renewed desire to entertain.
My side showed a lifestyle. I'm selling the lifestyle.
But on a more serious note, the series showed the return of Floyd Mayweather Sr. with the reconciliation of father and son.
I brought my dad back to camp because he's here to fix any problems that I had, from the Cotto fight.
I'm gonna tell my son what he needs to know.
He don't want me to take any punishment, so I need to tighten up with my defense.
It's not to hurt him, it's to benefit him.
And I told him he's right. My dad that's who I started with. That's who I want to finish with.
I'm not gonna stop my nephew saying to his dad, you can train me. I'm not gonna do that. That's my brother still.
Fight night, my dad will be in my corner. We all looking for the same thing, victory, May 4th.
Floyd fought Robert Guerrero, who was a former two-weight world champion and the current interim WBC welterweight champion after he defeated Andre Berto. Though Robert's nickname was the Ghost, it was Floyd who was the real ghost, as he was almost impossible to hit clean.
Okay.
Despite hurting his hand, Mayweather put on a beautiful display to convincingly beat Robert Guerrero, and his hand was injured so badly that it needed instant medical attention.
I apologize, I didn't get the knockout. I tried, see my hand swollen. I have to go get my hand checked out at the hospital. It's crazy now. They're gonna keep creating fighters. 1 minute it was like Pacquiao. He lose 2 in a row. They don't even talk about him no more. Now it's Canelo. So, and Pacquiao's a good fighter, Canelo's a good fighter. But they're gonna keep, they're never gonna stop creating fighters.
The next fighter who was being credited as the next great threat to Mayweather's supremacy was a young Mexican champion by the name of Saul Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez had gained massive exposure fighting on Mayweather's undercards, but he was now looking to take over.
Siempre lo he dicho, estoy listo y aquí estoy. Pero esta pelea la pedía la gente. La gente quería ver esta pelea. Este es mi tiempo de ganarle a Floyd Mayweather.
This long line of fighters I beat. Matter of fact, it show all the champions that I beat. Now, show me who you beat, Canelo.
He was viewed as the next best Mexican great after amazing performances against respectable competition, including some of Mayweather's past opponents, and many now wanted to see the young prince challenge the aging king.
Saul Canelo Alvarez can knock you out with any punch.
It has to be careful getting hit by a big shot from Canelo that could change the fight.
I can't overlook no opponent. You got to prepare all around the board.
Blueprint is right there. Just look at it. I took it out of the vault and I handed it over to Canelo Alvarez.
I think Canelo can do better than Oscar did.
No fighter beat me. Every fighter always talk about, we gonna beat Mayweather. We got the remedy. Shut up. Oscar will try to give Canelo the blueprint, and he will lose. And everybody that Oscar De La Hoya gave the blueprint to, I kicked their ass too.
He's not 25 anymore. He's not 30 anymore.
Canelo has got to make him feel that age. 36, he's almost 37 years old when this fight goes on.
And me, myself, I have a lot of experience. Canelo, he's banking on his youth. That plays a major key in a big fight. I don't care what you do good. I do everything great.
Having said that, I'm still picking Canelo Alvarez to win the fight. I think when Floyd gets hit by Canelo, he'll realize right away.
I got the best mind. Well, I don't have to be the strongest. Like I always say, it's chess.
I really, truly feel this will be the passing of the torch. I'm gonna be one of them that's gonna take a deep breath and say, finally.
El problema es de Mayweather, ¿cómo le va a ganar a Canelo?
Ya tiene que llegar el nuevo.
De Mayweather se terminó. El reinado de Mayweather se terminó.
This little shadow, this Canelo shadow, he next.
The highest paid athlete in all of sport.
This fight was set to be one of the richest sporting events in history, with Mayweather eventually pocketing $80 million.
I don't have to sell this fight. It speaks for itself.
And this was no doubt helped by the new style of press conferences that Showtime had set up.
And he's one of the best guys out there in the sport of boxing. The best thing for us to do is make the fight happen. Showtime, CBS, baby, it's all access. Let's go.
And come September 14th, it's the best versus the best. Matter of fact, they need to put a ring right here in Times Square and let us do it today.
The fighters went state to state and got boxing fans all over excited.
A mí nadie me intimida.
Who's the one? Canelo Mania
is sweeping the United States. The one Mexico has been waiting for. He is the bigger one. He's the younger one. He's the stronger one. Who will be the one?
He ain't the highest paid one. Without any further ado, he is boxing's biggest star, hailing out of Guadalajara, Jalisco, Mexico, 30 knockouts, Saúl El Canelo Alvarez.
En el boxeo, todos tenemos nuestro tiempo, y este es el mío.
I've been sitting on the top of the throne for 17 years. It's so crazy that Canelo is such a big star, but he's never been on pay-per-view unless he was on my undercard. But he's such a big star. He's such a big star, Oscar. You know what? You might as well call me the golden boy, because I done beat everybody on your whole crew. I'm fly, I'm flashy, I'm rich. Damn, life is good. See you September 14th.
By the time the fight had come, 2.2 million pay-per-views were sold, which was below the pay-per-view number for Mayweather De La Hoya, but the bout accumulated $150 million in pay-per-view sales, which was a record-breaking number. But would the bout live up to the hype?
Good luck to both of you. Touch him up, and it's what there.
Terrific noise in the arena. You could hardly hear the bell for the first round.
From the opening bell, both fighters stayed in range to land sharp shots, but the two stayed wary of counter punches.
He's trying very hard not to. Canelo been sharp on defense thus far too. Being respectful of Canelo's power too. He knows this is a strong kid.
Just on the fly is second to none. And now second as Mayweather pops off a couple more.
Later in the round. Not a great punch. Mayweather landing counter punches on the...
And now Canelo.
And then he's going to have to be desperate.
1-2 combination there by Mayweather.
Those shots there are moving out. Folks, Canelo taking control of the fight so far. They each have small moments.
Counter left hand by Mayweather.
In round 4, Mayweather turned up the heat, beautifully utilizing the boxing term hit and not get hit.
Effectively. Straight right hand.
Nobody's yet.
Canelo responded to Mayweather by taking out his frustration with a dirty shot.
He comes back.
No dancing from Floyd Mayweather.
Mayweather goes to touch gloves and Canelo wants no part of it. Clubbing left hand and a jab from him. And Mayweather smiles as he goes upstairs. Great round here in round number 4. Super welterweight division facing Miguel. And counter right. A jab from Canelo. Mayweather scrapes the body with left and right.
The heel of his glove. He's using some extracurricular activities as well. This was the...
After 5 rounds, the fight was exciting, but Canelo's team wanted him to charge forward. But hitting Mayweather clean was easier said than done.
He stopped Floyd Mayweather unless you can...
Right that bounced off Mayweather's shoulder. There was a left hook that landed by Canelo. Good round for Floyd Mayweather. Lead left hand by...
Sometimes it's a counter punch. Neither guy helping the eye Floyd has. It's starting to make Canelo gunshot.
But he's fighting the best boxer of his generation. That's why it's 6-1.
And in round 7, Mayweather put on a masterclass to showcase his tremendous reflexes and his punch-perfect accuracy.
The sharp counter punching can be an intimidator.
Double jab through the guard and that... The jab to the body. Look at this. And now Canelo comes backward. Floyd Mayweather now.
He's got to beat Floyd to the right. Look, Floyd always gets to that side so that Floyd...
It was time for Canelo to step up or risk letting the fight slip away. And in round 8, Canelo was determined to come back and push Floyd. And Canelo did just that, testing Mayweather's defense and counterpunching all the way.
Canelo has Floyd Mayweather on the ropes again, delivered. Sticks the right hand and there's a counter.
He is, and what we have had though are some interesting rounds of... All right, go. I want you to put the more buttons on. He too will sap it with energy. His big problem is Mayweather's hand speed.
Backing up. The bigger man's backing up now.
Despite Canelo's aggression, most of his punches were missing, and Canelo was falling into counterpunches from Floyd.
Right hand. There's a right hand that jacked the jaw. Another stellar display by Floyd.
As the last few rounds approached, Mayweather was finding Canelo's chin with perfection.
Like a big puncher, right
hand vibrance has been negated by the best.
The difference in experience and quality was really making the difference in the fight.
Masked it very well. And Canelo, at this point, might need and done. He's got to use that jab, and here Floyd's just picking up left hands
for the world super welterweight champion.
Going into the last 2 rounds, Canelo's team knew they needed to make a big impact.
Floyd Mayweather. 30 seconds.
Despite the effort, Mayweather's domination was continuing, and with valiance, Canelo continued to walk into the fire, but to no avail.
Mayweather remains money.
After a tremendous showing, Mayweather had earned a victory that would go down in history.
Pensábamos que lo íbamos a agarrar, pero simplemente no hallamos la solución.
Mayweather had put on a boxing masterclass to beat the fighter who he forecasted would succeed him as the next pound-for-pound king.
Experience played a major key. I want to commend this young, strong champion because he will carry the torch. You know, I take my hat off to Canelo. He's a true champion, and a true champion can take a loss and bounce back. And, you know, I only got 24 months left, and this is the man.
After such a victory, did Mayweather still have much to prove?
I want to be the best athlete, period. And that's the best ever.
In 2014, many fighters out there wanted the lottery fight with Mayweather, and with Pacquiao still in the process of building himself back up from his losses, there were few credible names left for him to choose from.
Some hit the jackpot, some don't, and you know, that's life.
But there were 2 fighters that were on the shortlist. The first was Marcos Maidana, a brawling machine from Argentina who had 31 knockouts in 35 of his wins. The other fighter was Amir Khan, a speedy fighter who had once engaged in a tough battle with Maidana 3 years earlier that he won. So Mayweather asked the fans on social media who they would like to see him fight, and the fans were split. It then later seemed that Khan was the man who would get the nod, but in the end it was Maidana who secured the big fight.
Floyd made that decision based upon his performance. Maidana's the hottest guy out there.
And despite the dismay of Amir Khan's fans, the bout was set for the 3rd of May 2014, and Mayweather was taking it serious.
Maidana, he's tough. He got the will to win, so this is a tough fight for me.
If any proof was needed that this would be a tough fight, fans only needed to look at Maidana's last performance, which was against Adrian Broner. Adrian Broner was considered to be Mayweather's heir, both stylistically and personality-wise. But that would be no problem for Maidana, who beat up Adrian Broner en route a 12-round decision.
I'm just mad what he did to Adrian Broner. I'm upset. Broner got out-hustled. You can't take nothing for granted.
And Maidana's coach felt that the Broner result would repeat itself.
You gotta stay on him. You gotta make it ugly. You gotta make it dirty.
Mayweather debe saber que él se tiene que cuidar y...
Pacquiao has no respect for nobody when they're inside the ring. He just goes in there to tries to knock his opponent out.
25 victorias. Creo que no puede retirarse invicto. Sé que de un golpe lo puedo llegar a tirar o a noquear.
But the day before the fight, it seemed that the fight was not even going to take place, and that Maidana may not get a chance to even land a punch, as there was a dispute between the 2 camps, with Mayweather's team feeling that the gloves Maidana was wearing didn't have enough padding in them.
The gloves, I told him, have no padding in it. Chinos use that glove.
I've always wear Everlast. I can't wear anything else.
Fighting him with those gloves on. That's not happening. No wonder he knocking everybody out.
I smell something else.
No, not funny like that. No, I'm talking about gloves.
You're sweating, buddy.
No, it's not. Listen.
Floyd prohibited Maidana from fighting in the particular Everlast gloves that Maidana's team wanted.
I can tell you right now. I can tell you right now. Fuck no.
Why don't you wear this ones too?
No, I'm not wearing them. Listen. We're gonna be on an even playing field. You gonna put them in the same shit as me.
I ain't wearing anything else, but
all
my fighters wear them. Floyd. You fought against Cotto with those.
Listen, you can tell me what he fought in Cotto. I tried on the gloves myself. There's no pad. There's no pad in the knuckles. There's no pad in the knuckles.
Everybody out. Let's go. Everybody out, please.
I tried on the gloves.
After the controversy was set aside, Maidana's chance had come to be the first fighter to give Mayweather his L. And though on paper Mayweather was the favourite, the come-forward brawling style that worked well for Castillo and Cotto against Floyd was a style that Maidana had, so it was looking to be an exciting fight.
Man's at all times above all, protects himself at all times. Bonus.
Said, I will fight this one differently than I have in the past. Attacking or moving his hands, he's going to have a problem in this fight.
Set up his offense. Too hard, but just letting Maidana know he's varying the offense.
And of course,
Maidana came out storming and managed to rough Mayweather up, throwing 100 punches in the first round and landing more punches than Mayweather.
This is where Maidana's difficult to deal with.
By far, this seemed to be the most fanatic first round Mayweather had ever experienced.
We have not seen Mayweather in this posture in a long time.
But watch for Mayweather, he's slipping in.
In the round. Not everything is landing, but some things are landing. In order to defeat Mayweather, he's only done that once.
Know what he's doing.
Now Mayweather firing back with the left hook and the right, but there's a right hand from Maidana.
And at the end of the first round, Floyd attempted to finish it strong, but Maidana did enough to win it, and his coaches were ecstatic.
You can't fight like that for 12 rounds.
Floyd came out stronger, throwing more solid shots and moving from the return fire, but Maidana was on a seek and destroy mission. Maidana's plan was to constantly push Floyd into the ropes. They weren't all landing, but the momentum of the fight was perfect for Maidana.
Mayweather right hand is always so accurate. There's a little more movement. Mayweather in all power puncher normally can make an arm punch by Maidana. Maidana is a rough and tumble fight.
Maidana didn't even want to touch gloves. No. I'll tell you, the body language of the fight is what Maidana wants. He couldn't have asked for a better.
It's a very entertaining evening.
And the all accent.
This is a bit of a brawl.
He just misses with that left hook. There's the left.
So landing more punches.
Oh, good body.
But he's very precise. And there's a left hook, and now
Maidana was still managing to push Floyd into the ropes.
Sorry about that.
Just 18% of theirs. They're along the ropes. Maidana with a left hook to the body, and Maidana again putting the pressure on.
For the first time in years, Floyd was severely cut after an accidental headbutt.
Right here. These are the moments Floyd has to be first.
Around the middle rounds, Floyd's accuracy started to hike the more that he moved toward Maidana.
Under the arm momentarily. It looked like Maidana was going to deliver a more time neither.
And has been hurt by Lopez.
The fans were getting all of their money's worth as the two were trading in the middle of the ring.
Bounces off my ring sense where he can anticipate all the punches. Not tonight.
Against Floyd wouldn't work, but ironically, some of them have worked.
In the second half of the fight, Mayweather was beginning to find the target with increasing effectiveness.
The punch. Short right hand by Mayweather. Million of Argentine fans. There's a left hook by Mayweather. Second.
As the intensity remained high, so did the dirty fighting.
Usted siga tirando. Jueguele sucio. Mete el brazo. Wanting to establish. Coming in. Left. And as we are at the midway point of the fight, here's the
combinations downstairs again.
And let's not forget, Floyd Mayweather has. There he finds.
Don't you have to set a few things up?
And Mayweather's corner. Oh, and there was a shot.
The first Castillo fight, if I remember correctly, above his eyelid, but you never saw him dripping.
Here's a round that's up for grabs.
You're expecting loopy shots.
Lead left hook by Mayweather. Nice counter left hook by Mayweather.
In the last 4 rounds, it seemed that the fight was up for grabs for the fighter who could make a clear impression on the judges.
There's a left from Maidana. Mayweather. Oh, right.
I should remember, I think I did that fight.
Mayweather. And Mauler jabbing. That's something that Robert Garcia has added to his arsenal.
In the championship rounds, Floyd turned up the pressure to totally dominate the fight.
Maidana 3-2.
Little body shots
on the jab.
You off, they'll suddenly start coming up the middle.
Down the back now, though.
And another right hand by Mayweather connects. The moment at the MGM Grand.
Mayweather landed 67% according to show stats.
Mayweather, that doesn't
Has Maidana stolen this round?
Start being very small and timing.
Mayweather. Now Maidana with domination in a while has Mayweather on the rope.
Out so well for Mayweather.
Good counter punching, and he almost said what has been a fantastic fight tonight.
In the last round, Maidana was sure to push hard, so the fans were in for an entertaining last round. But how would Floyd punctuate the fight?
Mayweather had me by 1 point, Steve by 3.
In the finishing moments, Floyd was slippery as usual.
Fights, think about that. 3-2 for Maidana.
Left hook, right hand. Can I already request a rematch?
I'm sure people will be talking.
Time crowd. Oh, there's a lead right.
Who says Floyd Mayweather fights can't be exciting?
Vegas.
Both fighters felt that they had done enough, but who would the judges pick?
Fight, very close fight, and both got
to a promise he made. He said this.
After a hard-fought match, Mayweather's O wasn't destined to go. After a competitive fight first time around, many of Maidana's fans felt that Maidana had done enough to win, so to set aside all the controversy, the rematch was instantly scheduled to take place in the fall of 2014.
So if one person said Floyd Mayweather lost, everyone wants to say Floyd Mayweather lost.
This matchup mirrored Mayweather's matches with Jose Luis Castillo, who was the only fighter who Mayweather had rematched before. And it was no surprise that both fighters had a similar approach.
The guy was real entertaining. Dirty, but entertaining.
And this time around, with all that happened before, it set up an entertaining press tour for the fight.
It's been almost 20 years and I'm still here. When I beat you and your career's over, guess what? I'ma still be right here. Right now, if I'm fighting, am I fighting a boxer or am I fighting an MMA fighter? What I can't believe is this one of the best trainers, but he's telling his fighter to fight dirty.
If he's not giving us no respect, we got to do the same back to him.
Please, I want to have sex after my fight is over, so please don't hit me in my. You was touching my more than my woman was.
Look, I retired 13 years ago, Floyd, but if I would have fought like a bitch, I'd probably still be undefeated. 16 years ago, I was super champion.
Yes.
But if we want to go take a little walk, me and you could take a little walk. This fight is going to be rougher for you. You better be ready, because this fight's going to be rougher for you. Come on, Floyd, winner takes all. You got a lot of money. Winner takes all. Let us wear our MF every last gloves. Are you willing to do it? No, you're gonna shake my hand? Come on, hand. Give me a handshake. See, you don't want us to wear gloves. Let us wear gloves. Let us wear gloves. We got gloves for you too.
Finally resolved the glove situation, and we have them here so you guys could see them. Those are the gloves we're gonna be wearing.
No me molesta, si me destino a ganarle, le voy a ganar con cualquier guante.
If he's upset about me, do something about it. September 13th.
The question was, could Maidana improve on his last performance?
We're switching a few punches around where he's gonna give trouble to the best boxer in the world. Boom, derechita, okay, recta, para alcanzarlo. Okay, lo vamos a alcanzar.
However, Mayweather was also determined to improve.
Nobody has really seen me push myself like I pushed myself this camp. I'm extremely hungry for this fight. I really, really want to win.
In the early rounds, Maidana's plan was to repeat his last performance and jump right on Mayweather. But Mayweather had a different approach than last time, and he decided to start with much more movement this time around. Mayweather was landing single shots, then making sure that he was out of the way.
Lovely little right. He blocks him well, that right hand. Good jab.
After minutes of missing, Maidana landed one of the hardest shots that Mayweather had ever taken. Motivated by his last punch, Maidana attempted to build on it and pushed Mayweather back with intensity in the next round.
Maidana knows he hurt him at the end of that third. Oh, rocking him, but troubling him for sure. Smile on.
Floyd weathered the storm, and in the next round, Mayweather was dodging most of Maidana's blows and was coming back with his own.
Picking Maidana off.
Making Mayweather work hard. Maidana just feinted the right hand, didn't he? Come back with the left hook.
Mayweather particularly.
And in frustration with Mayweather's slipperiness, Maidana resorted to biting Floyd's thumb.
Legal shots.
Mayweather protested to the ref that he was bitten, but since it couldn't be proven, Maidana couldn't be disqualified.
I understand, I don't see nothing. If it comes clear,
but you didn't see nothing.
The bout continued though, and Floyd was catching Maidana as he came in close. And once again, Maidana continued taking out his frustration.
Late in the career.
It's not a bad idea,
but Maidana's dirty tactics had little effect on the boxing itself.
Over the top, Mayweather takes it well. Look again for Mayweather in retreat. Classic.
And then Floyd accidentally returned the treatment too.
He was involved in one of his...
Maidana has to take now.
Just like with the Castillo rematch, this victory was clear for everyone to agree.
And still the undefeated champion of the world, Mayweather.
After the fight, Mayweather gave his mindset for the last few rounds.
I'm not trying to mess my legacy up. If I know I had to fight one and in the bag, why would I go out there and fight toe-to-toe in the 12th round? The smart fighters should last a long time being extremely smart.
And the question now was, would the Pacquiao fight finally be made?
About Pacquiao. And what I said is, we don't know what the future holds for Floyd Mayweather.
Pacquiao had successfully completed his comeback, scoring wins over Timothy Bradley and Chris Algieri.
Pacquiao throwing all the punches.
Pacquiao right down the pipe off of Chris Algieri's jab.
The world was eager to see the fight once again, and Mayweather this time felt the same way.
Do you want to fight Manny Pacquiao?
Oh, absolutely. Floyd Mayweather is not ducking or dodging. I've been wanted that fight a long time ago. We are ready. Let's make this fight happen for the people. Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao, May 2nd.